Hey everyone, my name is Kris Barocsi. Welcome to Gear Corner. Today's a very special day because I have a prototype amp here. The guys from GG Amp sent me over this prototype head and 2x10 cabinet. And they asked me to make a video, which is great. It's very interesting already. But it's also very interesting for me personally to actually try a prototype, because you don't always get to play these things. This is called a Sigma, perfect example of a boutique amp. And we will talk about boutique, what is it? What is a proper boutique amp anyhow, in a second, but let's get some sounds. This is still the clean channel, it's just cranked and it's loud. So what is a boutique amp? Well, first of all, it should be built out of high quality components. It should be hand built. It should not be mass produced in huge factories and blah blah blah. The GG Amp Sigma is a perfect example of a boutique amp. It has three 12AX7 preamp tubes and two EL34 power amp tubes, and the guy also builds the transformers himself, like the power and output transformer. It's all hand built. It's not just, you know, something built in China or wherever. So if you're not interested in details and you just don't want to spend, you know, more money on stuff, you should not buy a boutique amp, obviously. But if you hear the difference, if you feel the difference, especially when you play and you do care about those differences, that's the reason why boutique amps exist. It's a sort of a snob word, and I don't like using it a lot, actually. And I know some people who get, you know, really mad about boutique, whatever. And they find it very un-rock and roll. But the fact is that back in the days of proper rock and roll, like 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s even, all products were pretty much boutique in today's standard, which means that those were hand-built, you know, the components were way better, way higher quality standard than today's mass-produced amps and pedals and guitars and whatever. So those were actually all boutique stuff, you know what I mean? It was just not called boutique, it was just an amp, a pedal, you know. So if you sort of feel like that's something you want to be a part of and something you want to own and have the kind of vibe of an old, you know, well-built, you know, music gear, a boutique product is probably the way to go. Jelu, Mr. GG amp, he also builds his cabinets himself. So these are two 10-inch Eminence Raging Cajun 75 watt speakers inside, and it's also solid wood, like both head and the cab. These are basswood. What's nice about these speakers is that they don't have this piercing high end like some 10-inch speaker have. It's more of a nice and round. It pretty much sounds like a 12-inch, even though they're 10s, which is something I love about it. Now, what's really cool about having a prototype here is not only because it sounds, I don't know, fancy having a prototype here, it's because there are some little switches on the front, these ones, which normally don't make it on the front of an amp. This is just like the last, you know, fine-tuning kind of option that you don't have to always open up the chassis and turn switches inside. You just have access to them on the front. It's nice. There's like a fat switch, a mid boost, a high boost, and a tight switch, which some of them are really subtle and some are really audible. That's the fat switch off. I'm at a gain channel, by the way. Fat switch on. Mid boost off. And on. I love that switch. Treble boost off. And on. That's something you would probably want to have, because if you play a humbucker guitar, it makes more sense to have it on. If you have a Tele, a Strat, or whatever, you don't necessarily need that. And the tight knob, which is a subtle one. By the way, since I have the matching cab for the head, I've decided not to use my aux box, which I normally use in my videos. So right now I'm properly miking the cab. I have the Sennheiser 906 directly in front of one of the speakers, and I have my Rode NT2 right there. It's like, what is it? A little over 2 meters away from the amp. For some sort of a softer, fuller room sound. One more thing to check out, how the amp takes pedals. So I'll go back on the clean channel and play my obvious pedals, what I always use in my videos, which is going to be the King of Tone from Analog Man, the Coppersound Foxcatcher, and my newest love, the Antares Overdrive from Tate FX. Nice! Oh my god. This was the Foxcatcher from Coppersound. One of my favorite low gain drives. King of Tone. Okay, and the Antares Overdrive from Tate FX. And the last example is going to be delayed madness with my Strat. So that's the bypass signal. I'm going to be using the Antares Overdrive from Tate FX and the Nemesis Delay from Source Audio. What I really want to see in the comment section down there is your opinion on boutique stuff. You know, do you give a damn about, you know, stuff being really high quality, or it doesn't really matter, it just has to sound right, or you would never pay that much money for something, you know, guitar related? Just let me know. I'm really interested, and we'll have a nice little conversation going on down there. Otherwise, please hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and we'll see each other very soon. Take care, guys. Cheers.